I am Ellen McCauley at Pray It Up, and I spent a little time on the first one because I wanted to set the stage for suffering and talk about how it relates to our journey. And one of the things is that sometimes we create our own suffering. A lot of the problems I've had suffered in the past were of my own making. And you can make excuses. You can say, well, I got up to 371 because I was anxious, depressed, whatever. But I suffered for that, and it was in my control. But that's the past, and I got to let that go. Here's where the rub is. When we are the cause of our own suffering, or if someone has made us suffer and we're so angry about it, if we can't let that go, forgive ourselves, forgive others, that is more toxic than any suffering in and of itself. We have to forgive others, and the biggest person we have to forgive is ourselves. We can't change the past. We can only be stronger from it. We have to detach from an event. Say, yeah, you know what? I weighed 370. I don't anymore. I'm done with that. It's part of who I am as a person, but I can't be angry and suffer for that anymore. We can never feel joy today as long as we're continuing to process or revisit a past event, past suffering, past wrong. If you had a rough childhood, I am sorry to hear that. I really am. And you know, I could stand up here and tell tales. Many of you could. But there was good then too. There was joy then too. And we have to let it go. Let it go. I was saying Let It Go long before the Disney song came out. Believe me, I was. Each one of us takes out our anger on ourselves in a different way. And our tool of choice were to say, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to do whatever. I'm not going to exercise. I'm going to do this. And we're only hurting ourselves. When you look in the mirror and you hate what you see, you need addictions to survive. And you know what else we do? We self-medicate. We punish and reward ourselves with food. How many times have we done that? Why was I creating so much suffering for myself? The key to taking control of my eating and my health was answering a critical question: why? Why? This has been a 10-year and 4-month journey for me as to why. Why? Was it this? Was it shame of my past? Was it the anxiety about this? Was it that? Was it this? And until we revisit those areas and come to terms with them, we bury it, and they come to surface whenever there's stress or anxiety. I have lived my life on high alert. Anyone else? High alert. Oh, what's going to happen? What am I going to do? What do I have to fight or flight? I was all ready. Okay. What am I going to get in the mail? Is there going to be a problem? Is the phone going to ring? Is there trouble? Is something wrong with the kids? Who lives their lives on high alert except for me? Anybody else? Can anyone else relate to this? High alert. What's going to happen? Bad news? Oh, going to the doctors. Oh, I thought I was fine. What? Cancer? I'm dying? What? You live your life on high alert. That's no way to live your life. You have to just trust God. That's what I'm working on. Every day I say, Jesus, I trust in you. We need to apologize to our bodies for all the years we spent hating and abusing it and go forward again. Now you might say, I don't self-medicate with food. But if you ever had an eating binge, if you've ever hidden food, if you ever, here's the big one for all of us. If your immediate choice when stressed is to eat, then you're self-medicating. That's the number one thing we all have. If you can't lose weight and keep it off, you're self-medicating. Anxiety about not eating certain foods. You're so anxious about it, you almost eat it. I have prayers in here for people who are suffering with addictions. I suggest we pray for ourselves and each other. I also have choosing healthy restaurant meals because many of you eat out as a hobby. And I think you really need to take some of these tips. And then Chris, her brother, made this delicious granola, and I included the recipe. And raise your hand, Chris, so they can come and ask you about it. So it's very good, and those of you who like to cook can have it. And I'm going to stop right there, Bob, because the song